John Mortimer won the first. He's going to be on pole position then in the black car. David Robinson's white car alongside on row 1. And then the blue and yellow livery of Jim Needham on the inside of row 2. As the lights go out, the cars accelerate away. And a good start is made by Robinson from the outside of row 1. And he's got the drop. And look, a problem for Mortimer. Like he can't find a gear. They're passing him left and right. The pole man, yesterday's winner, in all sorts of grief as they head towards Redgate. Everybody wriggles around him as the cars go now to the top of the Craner curves and head downhill for the first time. You're on board with Oliver Jarrett. But he's managed to gain a bit of ground off the line, and as they work their way now down towards the old hairpin for the first time, Oliver Jarrett running in, what, 6th, 7th place. The leaders all fan out across the road as they try to get the optimum line for the old hairpin, and everybody so far safely through. 61 being forced out wide though, that's Paul Lewis over the curb, and that in turn delays him as he sprints now up towards Schwarzkopf. He's going to lose a couple of spots if he's not careful there. Kurt Brady leads the way as they come up towards McLean's for the first time. Kurt Brady, very quick driver, but surprisingly not yet this year has he been on the podium. Well, that's all about to change by the look of it. Somebody else runs out really wide there. Lee Furness managing to get away with it. The car's accelerating through Coppice then. Now onto the straight down towards Fogarty's for the first time. And you're riding with Jarrett. He's not quite staying on the back of that group ahead. He needs now to try and use that slipstream, tow himself up onto the back of the cars ahead. It's the Australian, the man from Brisbane, Kurt Brady, leading the way as they dive their way now into the left-right flick at the S's. The IT consultant, as I say, comes from Brisbane. He's been based over here for a few years now, leads the pack. Started racing in the Caterham Academy last year, and he's hanging on up front as the cars work their way down for the first time to the Melbourne hairpin. Jarrett's up to. He's caught the pack ahead of him just about under braking, and now if he gets a good run uphill, which he is doing, you can see the toe working, he's going to be able to dive up the inside heading into Goddard's and try to gain a place then. Ahead of him is William Scully, and he goes through. Jarrett picks up a place. Will Scully drops back behind him, and the cars work their way over the timing line at the end of lap 1. Brady the race leader, but he's not getting away, is he? David Robinson is staying with him and off into the wall there with big damage. Who was that? John Toshak it is. He scored something of an own goal, I'm afraid, by bouncing off the concrete, and that is the end of him. Broken front left corner. We're going to replay, no doubt, in a minute to piece together how he got there. Everybody else has managed to avoid the drama, including Andrew West, who turns now through Redgate onto the top of the Craner curves. Brady leading, Robinson is second, and going with them now, Mike Hart, who won the 2 races at Silverstone at the start of the year. Hart all up the curve, though, there on the outside, heading down to the old hairpin. Gets away with that. Thought for a moment the car was going to get away from him. He survives, everybody else powers through. Brady the race leader, and in fact Mike Hart was delayed because he's under pressure now. James Needham looking for a way around him on the outside. Can he go by? No, he can't. He goes too wide, in fact, leaves the door open, and now Stuart Leonard tries to find a way past the man with the Nigel Mansell crash helmet. Powering their way now onto Starkey Straight. There you can see Will Scully. He's already lost 1 place, but he's desperately trying to fight back as the cars power once more down towards Fogarty's. James Needham trying to preserve 4th place, but Kurt Brady somehow is hanging onto the race lead. But you just get the feeling that in this half-an-hour race, they're kind of biding their time a little bit, and they're going to push on, as is the tradition, when it becomes a bit more urgent towards the end of the race. As long as you're in that leading group and the leader isn't making a break, then drivers might be content for the moment just to sit there. It's a bit like a bicycle race. And then as you get towards the end, then you need to push, then you need to gain the places. Needham up the inside for 3rd. He goes by, keeping himself in that leading group, but that fight 3rd, 4th and 5th look has just delayed it a little bit. Back up the inside goes Mike Hart. He wants to be the best of the rest behind the 2 leaders, and the safety car is being deployed. It's all because of that car against the wall of John Toshak. Well, any break that was made by the race leaders is now about to be negated. Mike Hart, I think, was hoping to be at the head of that next group and therefore work his way back onto the tail of the cars ahead. He doesn't have to do the hard work now. It's all going to be done for him, and some drivers seeing the safety car board rather better than others. They see the back of the field, 1 or 2 almost tripping over themselves. Right, how did Toshak end up in the wall? Was there contact? Let's have a look. He's up alongside, yes, there was contact, Will Scully. They tried to get alongside each other coming over the line, and Toshak fired off left into the wall. It was a big impact that. The car bounced off it a couple of times. Driver okay, but that needs moving out of harm's way just in case anybody else should have a drama and end up bouncing into it. So the Donington Mazda safety car will peel into the pit lane. Its lights are out. We're going to go racing once again with Kurt Brady leading the way, and Mike Hart, look, has dropped off the back of that leading group. Rather than staying with the leaders, it's almost like he dozed off on that safety car lap, so no longer is he in touch with them. Yes, he's dropped the cars behind, but he needs to do quite a bit of hard work on this next lap, does Mike Hart, to get himself back into contention. Round Redgate they go, And yes, considering they've all supposedly bunched up under the safety car, look at the gaps. Certain drivers have been a little bit more conscious that the safety car was peeling off than others. Kurt Brady then leading the way. David Robinson in second place as they work their way downhill. Robinson, remember, had a win at Alton Park. Brady yet to get himself onto the podium, but if he's going to do it, how better to do it than with a race win. On board with Oliver Jarrett here, coming out of the old hairpin. Battle for fourth place going on ahead of him. James Needham just hanging on to that place. Kurt Brady just hanging on to the race lead. And Robinson going with him as they head uphill once again. This is towards Coppice. Double apex right-hander. Green flags being shown. This lap, proper racing lap once again. Mike Hart lonely in that third place. David Robinson then in second spot. The High Wycombe student, 23 years of age, and he's going after the race leader. There, 73, Terry Langley, the man that led the championship, coming to Donington. Well, after dramas yesterday, found himself at the back of the grid for this race, but he's carving his way through. That safety car is helping him as well. Ian Davies was the man in the pit lane you just saw. So David Robinson second, and losing touch a little bit with Kurt Brady. Brady upping his pace now. And Robinson, who only started racing last year in the Caterham Academy, just dropping away in second place. Now, is that meaning that he's going to be caught by anybody else before the end? It's Mike Hart, who was running in third, but there, look, he's dropped back behind John Mortimer in 46. Over the line they come. New race order then. Brady leads. Was ever thus. Second is the white car in the hands of David Robinson. Up into third, you've got James Needham. In fourth place as they come over the line is Stuart Leonard. But 46 becoming a bit of a threat now. There you can see John Mortimer. Now he's been a race winner this year already. He won yesterday here. And Mortimer working his way now into contention. Looking at the clock, I reckon with the amount of time remaining, he may yet be able to do something about the cars ahead of him. Gain maybe a place on the podium before the end. Mike Hart running with him. Mike, double winner at Silverstone at the start of the season. And the development engineer turning his way there. Look, in car number 11, the man from Leicester at his home circuit, out of the old hairpin. Another man that started last year in the Caterham Academy. And there, off the road, has gone 61, Paul Lewis. He picks himself up. This is how he did it. Somebody locks up ahead of him. Paul goes to the inside and just gets it all wrong under braking. He's just avoided by the borrowed car of Mark Farmer. Lewis gets himself going once again as the race leader comes over the line. Kurt Brady still clear up front, and I think now he's been able to make the break, hasn't he, because we've had more squabbling behind. That delays the people involved. James Needham has gone up into second place. David Robinson is third, and John Mortimer is fourth in 46. I said he might be good for the podium. He's going to have another go, I think, to get past the white and black car ahead of David Robinson now, heading on to the top of the Craner curves. Downhill they go. The race leader, Kurt Brady, pretty much on his own. Looking at the gap that he's managed to build up, I reckon that's going to be good for him to the checkered flag now. Mortimer to the inside in the black and orange car. Can't do it, door closed. Another drama, this time at the final corner of Goddard's. It's Duncan Harris who's lost it. Rejoins the race, but that's going to put him now down into last place, in fact, as he rejoins. Kurt Brady, no dramas whatsoever. Faultless drive this has been, helped possibly by all the squabbling behind. James Needham it is, who still has second spot. Third is Robinson, and again John Mortimer looks for the inside, heading up towards Coppice. There's a gap. Is he near enough? He tries to force the issue, but he still can't do it. Out of the corner they come. Now the sprint down towards the Fogarty S's, and Harris is off again. Rejoins. Oh dear, not a happy race for him this. He had one drama here at Goddard's, got going again, and then found himself in more grief going through Redgate. Big squeal of tyres, off it goes into the gravel, although thankfully able to engage first gear and dig himself out. So Kurt Brady is on target for a first win of the season. Looking at this, there's nobody behind him that's going to give chase. In second place is Mortimer, third is Needham, but only just, and Robinson is fourth as they sprint their way now up towards Coppice. This is the place that's up for grabs, isn't it? The last place on the podium. Blue and yellow livery of James Needham, the white and black car then in the hands of David Robinson, and the cars accelerate once again down towards the left-right flick at the Fogarty S's. Kurt Brady, the man from Brisbane, looks like he's going to win. Terry Langley, meantime, in the white and blue car, flings it up the inside of Will Scully. He's not going to get into the top six, I don't think, Terry Langley, but he's going to be the best of the rest. You can see the gap to the cars ahead of him, but this is damage limitation. Up from the back of the grid, Terry Langley is hanging onto the place. Look as they come down towards Fogarty's. Can he scrabble through on the inside? He locks up. He's heading for the grass, heading for the gravel. Straight lines, the S's comes out ahead. He was ahead anyway, but he comes out with the greater margin. He started 25th on the grid. He's now 7th. Kurt Brady then. The man from Brisbane leads at Donington Park. He turns out of Goddard's, heads up towards the checkered flag. It's going to be a race win, and in some style as well. It's going to be a nearly 5-second winning cushion. This is over the line for second is John Mortimer. Third over the line is going to be James Needham. David Robinson is fourth. Fifth goes the way of Stuart Leonard. And Mike Hart in the background now coming over the line, finishes sixth. And Terry Langley, 25th on the grid, does finish in 7th place as he sprints up towards the line. And the slowing car behind him means that 8th is Oliver Jarrett. Will Scully was the slowing car. He drops to 9th. And 10th is Chris Bingham. Action all the way. Kurt Brady the winner by the best part of 5 seconds. His first win of the year. Jonathan Mortimer second. James Needham third at the end of another all-action race.
There were moments there where I thought that they were going to catch me, but I managed to maintain the break, and it was pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. All of that means that John Mortimer leads the championship by 6 points now from David Robinson. Kurt Brady kickstarts his season. He's up to third, 6 points ahead of James Needham. Terry Langley drops to fifth, and it's Mike Hart, the man that won the first 2 races, who now trails in 6th place. More racing to come next after the break. Super Sports.